if you've ever been curious, to know the inside perspective or what happens in the Nollywood industry and how fast rising talents make it to the big scene, then you want to stay tuned and watch this interview with Adaobi Dibor. Hi, Adobe. Nice to see you in person. I know you used to be an ex-beauty or used to be a beauty queen.
Yeah.
Was that part of, was it intentional? Was it like your way of breaking?
I just wanted to have fun, to be
Okay.
honest. So I just like, okay, let me just try it because people always say, oh, that's something they see me doing. So I'm like, okay, let me just experience what it is like to, and it also helped my confidence.
So how did we start seeing you, taking major roles as lead? How did you get to that point? Because I mean, there are so many people who have dreams and passion, of becoming an actor, but they've stuck with this dream for years. So how did directors start seeing your work? How did you get there?
Well, I started with auditions, right? I know that people, when you hear auditions, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's auditions, right? So when you start the audition and also working on your craft, because so people start projects because they want to make money, right? So if you can make them that money, of course, you're an asset. So if you know what you're doing, like you know how to act, and then you step into the industry, you go for auditions, they just see you, and that's it. So, and the industry is like really small. So once this director sees you and you work on his project and you're good, that's it.
Do you think, or have you ever had an experience with people attributing your success or your process, to being pretty? Is pretty privilege a thing in the Nollywood industry? Because people talk about it a lot.
Well, yes, I've had people do that. I think one of my first major project, I had people say that a lot. They even came to my DMs and they were like, no, it's because no, you do,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. So I think having a you said something about me having a
A
camera
certain,
face,
yeah.
right? So I think that also works to an extent. That's why you see actors trying to invest in how they look and all of those things because sometimes it helps,
Yeah.
put you.
Okay, so in your time in the industry, you've taken on different roles, portraying different characters. How do you, prepare for these roles?
So I do have a preparation. In fact, I do have a coach. So every time I
Okay.
have a project, I send him the script and we do the breakdown together and we just decipher what the body language of this character is about and, her backstory and all of those things. And then I prepare like a whole PDF of her life and then I just begin to think
Interesting.
like her and, begin to just slowly get into it.
What draws you to a particular character? Have you ever seen or have you ever been given a script and then you wish in your heart that, oh God, I'm casted for this particular, role? And when you are given a role, what draws you, what makes you accept, you know, the scripts?
So where I come from, I don't come from a very rich background. So I know the life of people on the other side, like
Yeah.
really well, like back of my hands. So when I see, and I think I take my craft as an avenue to speak for people, to represent people. So when they give me a character, I see the character as a person who needs a voice. So most times I like to speak for those people because it's hard. I'm going to
Yeah.
lie. Like they go through a lot. So when I see scripts that modify and, just show people what it is to live, I'm drawn. So if I have to suffer in the script, I'm sorry, I say this a lot, but if I have to suffer in the film, I'm
Yeah.
drawn.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay. Have you ever turned down a role before?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay. Why? Is it that it wasn't, you just didn't think it was good for your brand?
Well, no, it's just I like to work with God, to be honest. So I would attribute
Your
100%
success?
of my success or, my movement in this industry
Yeah.
to God. So when I read a script, I do pray before I even open the script. So I'm just like, God, and there's just a feeling once I just read the script. There's just something that's like, yes, everything in you is screaming
Yeah.
yes. So I just go with that most times. I don't It's not by my selection.
Mm.
And every time he selects, it's always a hit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We've seen a lot of cases online. And not, I don't want to mention names, but we've seen a lot of cases online where we see directors and producers asking, for sex, in exchange for roles. Have you ever, encountered that situation?
Uh, yeah.
How did you tackle it?
So it wasn't direct, but it was just implied, and how I just think, because again, people want to make money. You're in an the reason why people are doing film, yes, there's the passion of wanting, but in the end, there's money to be made, right? So what I just thought about, I just said to myself, Ada, if you're so good that you cannot be turned down, that thing that they want will go to the back, because first of all, they want to make money, so that's in the
Yeah.
front, right? So before any other thing, they know that this person can make them some money, and so that's usually what comes first. And then when it's time for that other one, obviously, once they know that, okay, you can't give it to them, but you can make them the money, and if they're not willing to see that part of you that can work and make them, that's fine. Just move on to the next person. Someone will see you, right? So that's what I just did.
Do you think being a stereotyped actor in the industry is a thing, and has that ever happened to you? Do you feel like directors are not casting you for more challenging roles? Have you ever felt like that, or do you have people who have gone through that, and how does that make you feel,
Okay, first of all, I want to
and
say that.
how can people break out of that?
So first of all, I want to say that I don't see anything wrong being stereotyped. I think you should just own it. If you're always cast as the main girl, be the meanest girl in the world. That the
I mean,
moment
that's
they
what
think
sold
about,
Patience was up.
do you get it? So it's
Yes,
like,
people like
I don't think there's
Sophia were known
anything
for
wrong
comedy.
with it, to be
Yeah.
honest. But for me, I I felt that way until I was cast for Blood Vessel. And when I got the script, I'm like, okay, this is your chance to actually prove to them that you can be the poor and the one that I like, which is to suffer. So I did that, and I feel like I don't have any problem being stereotyped. It's just be the best,
That's
the best of that, right? So yeah, that's what I think.
okay. So I know that you were juggling both your career and school at some point. What was it like having to juggle both school and career?
It wasn't easy, obviously, but I had friends. I had really good friends who used to help me submit assignments, used to help me. They keep me on track every single time. So at some point I actually said, not like one has to go. Acting is my love. I don't know anybody that likes school, but for me, I'm like, should I just, do you think it's really, my mom was like, what are you saying? You will have to finish. So yeah, I did that. I did both of them. But most times when I have heavy shoots, there's always something. There's always a strike. Or one to this.
You're really a
Always
blessed girl.
there was always something. I shooting blood vessel. I knew it was the election thing.
Yeah.
So I was not under pressure at all. But there are times where I had to, be in school and shoot. So what I usually do is just ask them for everything you've done for that day. And at night after set, I will just read so that I can be up to speed with them. So I'm not missing anything. It's just that I'm not physically in school, but I'm in school. So
Okay. Here that you are right now, what would you say to other young people or other old people, anybody who's trying to come into the industry that's almost at the verge of giving up? What are you going to say to them?
okay. I think people are tired of hearing this. But please pray. Like please pray. Like pray like you don't have any other option.
Like you don't have a talent.
Yes, exactly. That's pray like you don't work and work like you don't pray. Like pray really hard. And I think people sabi. Like work on your craft. Like Jesus. Like
There's a lot
work
of
on your
talented
craft.
people.
Like your life depends on it. Because that is your edge. Some people will think, oh, people are just winging it. No. Like work on your craft so that you can stand out. So that's what basically, work like you don't pray and pray like you don't work. It always works for me. So I think that's like
So I had a nice time chatting with you, Adaobi. I hope to see you next time on our actual news programs. I love you very much, and thank you. Thank you for coming around. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.